My name is Monica Stassen, and I am the Preparedness and Response Manager at SANCOP. So SANCOP is a seabird rehabilitation center. We have two centers, one located here in Gqeberha and a second location in Cape Town. And this workshop and the roadshows mean a lot to SANCOP in that it's a significant step in ensuring preparedness for South Africa as a nation. South Africa has a history, unfortunately, of pretty severe oil spills that have had very significant environmental impacts and have affected wildlife. And so as a nation, we really need to be sure that we are prepared. We have a very busy coastline with a lot of ships, and everyone knows that our storms are infamous. And so, making sure that we're prepared means that a response is effective, it's efficient, and ultimately successful. We want to make sure that we prevent wildlife from being impacted as much as possible. And if we do have to respond, that we're ready to respond, because there's a very small window of opportunity in which to respond before the consequences become fatal.
The plan is all very well that it's there, and I'm sure you are pleased with it. But the state of readiness, in your perspective, what is the state of readiness for South Africa in general and the respective ports specifically?
I can only really speak to readiness from a wildlife perspective, and this is something that SANCOP has been lobbying very strongly for because it is not great. There are some big gaps still in our level of readiness, and some significant steps have been made to improving that through, for example, the drafting of the National Old Wildlife Preparedness and Response Contingency Plan, as well as some colony-specific contingency plans that have been drafted for our West Coast, and some training that was actually run last year. SANCOP helped facilitate some of that training for government officials and City of Cape Town officials and other organizations for our West Coast, but there is still gaps. And that is a main concern for us as well. SANCOP is the mandated responder for seabirds, but at this stage there isn't yet established responders for animals such as turtles or seals. And so, we do remain concerned that there is still more to be done. And while there has been progress, we will continue to lobby for more progress to be made and for wildlife to be really integrated into response plans. A lot of the old plans do not really cover wildlife. And so we sometimes get brought in very late, or we get brought on board when suddenly there is a wildlife impact. Obviously here in Gqeberha, we are brought on early. We've formed and forged really strong relationships with the stakeholders here to ensure that we are brought in. And so for the spills that have occurred in the recent history, SANCOP has been included as part of the incident management system, which has made a real difference in ability to respond and to prepare and to really advocate for wildlife.
From your perspective, given the location of also the small islands with these wildlife creatures, should we have a specific plan for this area, or is there one? If there is not one, should there be one?
Absolutely. So there are some very old plans that have been drafted for specific organizations. So, for example, SAMPOX has their own plan, and as an organization, SANCOP has our own plan, but we haven't yet seen a very nice comprehensive plan for the Bay. Fortunately, one is currently being developed as part of the ecological risk assessment that is being conducted on ship-to-ship field transfers, funded through TNPA. And one of the actions of that tender is to put together an old wildlife contingency plan. This is of critical importance. SANCOP has been very outspoken against ship-to-ship bunkering in the Bay because it occurs in such close proximity to seabird colonies, particularly St. Croix Island. And the declines that we've seen on St. Croix in recent years have been to the magnitude of 85% in just 3 years. So we are very concerned, and we do feel that a contingency plan if this practice is to continue, it is essential to have that in place to make sure that we don't see more birds oiled in future events.
Thank you very much for your time. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you.